Leigh Griffiths should have been remembered as one of the great modern strikers in Scottish football. Instead, his story might end very differently. Because right now, the former Celtic player is at the centre of one of the most serious allegations you can face in football, a betting conspiracy. But to understand how it got to this point, you need to go back to where it all went right. Leigh arrived at Celtic in 2014, and from the moment he pulled on that shirt, you could see it. Natural finishing, instinct, confidence. This wasn't just another striker, this was someone who could win games on his own. He scored over 100 goals for Celtic. He was top scorer in Scotland, and during the 2015-16 season, he hit over 40 goals in all competitions, a number that puts him in elite company. There were moments that defined him. Free kicks against England at Wembley for Scotland, big goals in derby matches, that ability to produce something out of nothing when it mattered most. At his peak, he wasn't just good, he was unplayable. But even during the highs, there were warning signs, discipline issues, controversies, moments where focus drifted. Managers like Brendan Rodgers and Neil Lennon publicly challenged him to do more, to be more professional, to fully commit, because everyone could see it. The talent was there. The question was, how far could it go? Imagine this for a second. A fully focused Leigh. No distractions, no setbacks, just pure dedication to the game. That's what makes this story so frustrating. Because instead of that, the narrative began to change. Time away from football, off-field issues stacking up, and slowly, the player who once looked unstoppable began to fade. And now we arrive at today. Reports have emerged linking him to an alleged betting conspiracy, claims of involvement in a wider scheme connected to match fixing and fraudulent betting activity. Let's be clear. At this stage, these are allegations. Nothing has been proven in court, but what's being suggested here goes far deeper than just placing a bet. In modern football, betting scandals rarely mean fixing an entire match. Instead, they often centre around something called spot fixing, small moments within a game, that most fans wouldn't even notice. A mistimed tackle, a deliberate booking, giving away a free kick in a certain area. Tiny actions that can be predicted, controlled, and crucially, bet on. And that's what makes this so serious. Because if proven, it strikes at the integrity of the sport itself. Fans believe what they're watching is real, unscripted, earned. But allegations like this suggest that, behind the scenes, outcomes, or at least moments, could be influenced. Not for glory, not for the badge, but for money. The investigation itself is believed to stretch back several years, with multiple players reportedly linked to the same alleged network. Court proceedings have already begun for others, and Leigh's name being connected to it only raises the stakes even further. Again, it's important to say, these are allegations, but even being associated with something like this changes how a career is viewed. And that's what makes it all so difficult to watch, because when you think of Leigh, you don't just think of the controversy, you think of the goals, the moments, the talent, the feeling that you were watching someone who could do something special every time they stepped on the pitch. But football doesn't just reward talent, it demands consistency, discipline, commitment, and when those things aren't there, even the most gifted players can fall away. Leigh Griffiths had everything needed to be remembered as one of Celtic's modern greats, and in flashes, he was. But football isn't built on flashes, it's built on what you do over the long run. Now, as this latest chapter unfolds, there's a different conversation being had, not about how good he was, but about what happened, and what might have been. Because, in the end, this isn't just a story about controversy, it's a story about potential, and how, sometimes, even the brightest talent doesn't guarantee the ending you expect.